law enforcement is full of traditions that as a civilian I will never fully understand, but I can appreciate the deep-rooted culture that is a law enforcement officer. As mayor, I recognize that without these traditions, which tend to bond those in law enforcement, the challenges that an officer faces on a day-to-day basis would be even more difficult, if not impossible. As chief of police, it is your responsibility to bridge the gap between these deeply held traditions of law enforcement and the expectations of elected officials and citizens within our community. This is often not an easy task, and at times may be a challenge, and it may challenge your resolve more than you might imagine. I encourage you, Chief Ewing, to stand firm in your conviction, have a heart for those that you serve, and advocate for those who are in your charge. I am confident you will rise to this challenge and that you will make Russellville Police Department better than it has ever been before. Today you should feel the immense pride, honor, as well as the awesome responsibility that is bestowed upon you with the awarding of this Chief's badge. From this day on, every time you place that badge on your chest, I challenge you to reflect on the immense responsibility of being Chief of Police and find that balance between the immense pride of wearing this badge and the burden that comes with this position. Congratulations, and may God bless you as you take on this new role for the city of Russellville. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pose. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. This time my life will depend on, and hopefully not potent. I don't trust you. Kind of hard. I've done a lot of PIO stuff and helped set up celebrations for other people's promotions and stuff. But when you're the one up here and everybody's honoring you, it's kind of it's awkward for me. I'd rather be behind the scenes making other people look good. I definitely want to appreciate Captain Smith for his kind words, and we have worked well together. We will continue to work together. I'm going to inherit a great command staff with Captain James and soon to be Captain Eric Ezel in the back. I could not be blessed with more with what I'm getting. When I accepted the job, when he called me and offered me the job, it was by phone. And there was a moment of pause on my part when he said, I'm offering you the police chief job for the city of Russellville. For the first time in my career, I've been like any other law enforcement officer, we've been in dangerous situations to handle anything. Explosions, bombs, homicide, shootings. But when I was offered that job, I was speechless. I was like, what did he just say? And he actually got on, he said, are you okay? You sound tired. This is right when the COVID was starting. I thought he was going to try to, what's your temperature there? But it was almost surreal to me when he offered me the job, because what a lot of people don't know, and I'm going to be a little bit chatty, but when he offered me a job, I kind of thought back on my career. I cannot say that I was one of those kids growing up, I want to be a cop. I wasn't that. I can't say that. It's something God called me to at a strange time in my life when me and my young bride, this is great, we moved to Alaska, and we were young and stupid, and we moved there and didn't have any money, so I was working a lot of odd jobs. And I was working in a grocery store, stocking lettuce, and I made friends with a guy in Alaska at the Cordova Police Department. We just got talking, and as a young couple, I was working as a custodian, at the school. A local pastor, Don Brendel, hopefully he's watching this, got me a job a couple nights a week, sweeping floors in a school, working in a grocery store. And they offered me a job as a community service officer at the Cordova Police Department. never thought about being in law enforcement, never saw myself as a cop, like a lot of young guys here. You know, maybe before you started, it's like, can I really be a law enforcement officer? That's an important job. So, you know, they kind of talked me into it, and I just needed money. I was like, all it was, as my wife put it, I was a glorified dog catcher, meter maid. I know that's not politically correct, but that's what they called them at the time. Served papers, I did a little bit of dispatch. I even painted the police department in Cordova, Alaska. And, you know, and during that time, they wouldn't for them offer me a job for 20 hours a week on top of, you know, whatever, all the other jobs I was working. I wouldn't be in law enforcement today. You know, by doing that, I saw the camaraderie, the purpose. You know, I dispatched, it's kind of weird in Alaska, I never heard of a tsunami warning before, being an Arkansas boy, you know. But, you know, we dispatched a little bit for the Coast Guard, on rescues, and I realized what little odd jobs I did, that I could be in the arena with the other law enforcement officers. I was no different than anybody else. I could throw my name in the hat and step up to that plate and be a law enforcement officer. You know, that camaraderie, the mission, serving others. And it also gave me a great appreciation for the little jobs. I have a, you know, maybe a different perspective toward the secretaries, custodians, dispatchers, jailers. I did jailing, even painters, because I had to paint a PD. I learned a lot about painting back then. So they taught me going to the academy in Alaska. A lot of people don't know I started my career there. I went to the Bethel Police Department. That was my first full-time job. And I learned, probably the hardest I ever worked in my life there. Rural Alaska, I learned a lot about working rural, working by yourself. I learned how to talk to people is what I learned. Because when you're by yourself, when you're the law, it took, you had to learn how to have tact, especially in rural Alaska. You had to learn how to deal with minorities, culture differences. And I probably never worked so hard in my life because you were it 24/7. I learned I can sleep. You know, sleep is a privilege. You know, I can go without sleep for several days. I gained a lot of experience there in criminal investigation because you just had so much of it. You know, it's hard to keep up. When we decided to move back to Arkansas, I tried to come to work here, but there's no openings. And I ended up in Texarkana Police Department for a few years, excuse me. And there I got some experience with some big city policing. You know, and you know, Chief Bob Harrison down there, I think he's still there. I think he's really old. He's catching up with Methuselah if he's watching. But I mean, they really took me in, and I got to see how real city policing worked in a bigger city. Because I've been in rural Alaska, you know, dealing with gangs, you know, in the mid-90s when all that was going on. And that was a valuable experience. So I finally came to Russellville in '97. And it was great here because I got to watch this department when it was kind of down and growing. And I kind of got to help grow with it and help it grow to where we are at today. And I think all the experiences I had, how God put me there. You know, who would have guessed I'd been in Alaska, started my career in Alaska Academy, jumped around, you know, Texarkana, and now I'm the chief of police at Russellville. It was hard for me to, wow, where did I start and how did I get here? And I'm here. And, you know, it's just the journey that God led me on to get to this point. It's been incredible. The community's had great support for me. I've had support throughout the organization, even Captain Smith, the command staff, Mayor Harris, council members. It's just, you can ask my wife, it's like, wow. You know, it's just knowing where I started. So when the mayor called and offered me the job, I was taken aback because I was like, I'm really here? This is where I'm at? And I didn't know how to answer that question. It was the first time I was speechless and a little bit nervous, I guess. Excited, all of it. But, you know, that's kind of the journey that got me here. You know, I've got to thank a few people because, you know, you're always guaranteed to start out on top, but you might not finish that way. So I better thank people now before I know how this ends. I got to thank my family, first of all. My wife, Melanie, she's put up a lot of stuff, you know, 27 years of law enforcement. And all the officers in here, your spouses, especially you new guys, it's a job change for your spouses just as it is for you. Keep them front and foremost. have a happy marriage, could have made for a great career, and I've been lucky enough to have that. My kids have been supportive, you know, acts of service in my family. You know, I gotta give a shout out to my mom. She couldn't be here. She's high risk from Harrison. Hi, Mom. I know you're watching. You know, she was a hospice nurse. I got a lot of compassion from, you know, learned compassion from her, what she did in her career. You know, my dad, I saw how he was a successful manager with Walmart for many years, had his own business here in Russellville, and how he treated customers, how he made things right. I knew that had an influence on me. My grandfather, who's passed away forward, he was a Ewing County tax assessor for many years, and I would go visit him in the courthouse and saw how he treated people, how he related to them. Now, they might not always like what he said, but you know, he treated them with respect. And all the other mountain people in Ewing County and Harrison, you know, I come from a line of family of teachers and nurses, truck drivers, dump truck drivers. You know, a lot of blue collar, and they had a lot to, I think they had a lot of influence on me. So I got to thank my family for where I'm at today. And finally, I know y'all it's going to get hot in here, and you know, I got to thank the men and women of the Russellville Police Department, the ones I've journeyed with to this point. You know, I spent over 23 years here, come through the ranks. Some of you new guys I've never had a chance to work with on the street. Some of you older guys still tell lies on me, whether they're true or not. If the citizens of this city could see what I see every day, there is tremendous talent, tremendous dedication within the walls of this building. Now, we're all different and we all disagree, but I could not have been handed a better police department. And it's because of every one of you. The success of Chief Humphrey, and even my future success, based on your dedication to the citizens of Russellville. And I am proud to be in that position. Will I always be right? Will I make mistakes? Yes, I will. But I hope you have my word that I'll do my best to take care of this department and keep it moving in the right direction. I don't know what else I can say to, I gladly accept, and I hope I can serve you in the way that this department and citizens of Russellville deserve to be served. Thank you.